Hello, in this video I want to talk about giving away your power, understanding how we do it, how we've been conditioned maybe throughout our lifetime, what our power is, and at the end I want to share with you ways of claiming it back. Hello, my name's Elizabeth Goddard from Revive Your Soul, and on this channel I talk about healing from emotional abuse, healing those trauma bonds, the invisible chains that are keeping you trapped. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe, and if you're returning, thank you and welcome back. And thank you so much to all my new subscribers. It's just amazing. Thank you for your support. So in this video I want to talk about claiming back power, and I want to talk about how we give power away, and at the end how you can claim it back. Not everything's going to resonate, so take what does, leave what doesn't. So being in your power is feeling confident. It might feel like being an adult, like putting on your big girl pants. It's actually owning all of you, understanding who you are and owning that. I mean, I believe we're actually born knowing who we are and what we're here to do, but we forget when we're children because we're told by our elders, our family members, our tribe members, how to behave and what is expected of us. We're told the rules within our tribe, our family unit, and as a way of self-preservation we agree and we abide by these rules. I mean, who would want to be kicked out of the tribe, to be wandering around alone in the wilderness, in the savannah? And you might have been told stories about your ancestors who were outcasts as maybe a lesson of what not to do. Or if you do this, this is what happens to you. And you stick to the guidance of that tribe. So as children, we handed over the power to the adults in order to be protected by them. Life should flow. Being in your power should be being fully authentic. Life should be easy and it should be magical. By not being in your power, you might feel overwhelmed where opportunity lies. So for every action, there's a reaction. And you are sending a message to the universe or to yourself. This is what I want. So if you start to ask yourself, why does this keep happening to me? Then stop and try and understand what it is that you're thinking about. Make sure your power, your energy and thoughts are all aligned to what you want. So some of the ways that we give away power. Number one, blaming others for how we feel. Blaming others for the situations that we're in. When you put yourself in a blame victim mode, your energy is really low. When I teach about energy, I ask people to recall a situation where they've walked into a room and they're feeling really good. Their energy is really high and they walk in with their head held high and their shoulders back, feeling fantastic, and everyone in that room is feeling really low and they come out feeling absolutely drained. Or you can reverse it, you're feeling really awful and you walk in to a room and it's got a really high vibe. Well, these people are really positive and they lift you, and you can do that yourself by blaming others. You're living in a lower vibration, that you can't see things from a different perspective, that you can't lift yourself out of. Number two would be hiding who you are, understanding what your role is, what you're here to do, what your mission in life is, what your soul is here to create. And it might be that from childhood that we've hidden away, or it might be that something happened at school and a teacher said something, or children laughed at you and you've hidden because it wasn't safe. A third way you might give away your power is putting others' needs before your own. You're showing the universe that you're more worried about others, they're more important than you. We have to be in a place that we're full, that we've got the energy. You can't help someone if you're in pain yourself. If somebody needs something from you, you can't give if you don't have anything left to give. Number four, spending time with people who don't value you. They drain your energy. Start listening to your body. Do you come away from situations or being with people feeling absolutely drained? Number five, telling old stories. This is the crutch, this is leading with the wound. If these stories are disempowering to you, then you need to rewrite them. If you're telling them in an empowering way, this is the hero, the heroine story. This is how you overcame adversity. That's slightly different. But talking about and telling stories about the reason that you're stuck, that's a really dense, low vibration. This did happen to you, and this is what you've got out of it, and these are the wounds that you've healed, and these are the lessons that you learn, and this is where your life's going. Number 6 is we give away our power when we allow others to make decisions that they believe are right for us. Make your own rules. If you're trying to fit in, this is also another way of giving away your power. This isn't you, it's about understanding who you are. And if you really want to understand that at a soul level, understand what you're here for, you can get 50% off one of my soul plan readings. Help you discover actually who you are, what it is and why you've experienced what you're experiencing, these challenges, and do some clearing around that. So if you're really interested, I will, as I'm talking, I'll come up with a code and I'll tell you at the end of the video what that is. Don't hand your power over by constantly asking what you should be doing. Listen to your body. Your body will tell you, your heart will tell you. If it makes your heart and your soul sing, you are on the right path. The 7th way that you might be giving away your power is to doubt yourself. The only person who knows what you should be doing is you. You know when something feels wrong. You know if you feel ill. Your energy is the same. So you might not be feeling great. You might not be leaping out of bed in the morning, or you might be having constant headaches, or you might feel something wrong with your gut. Handing away power is when you doubt yourself. Body knows what feels right. Maybe you're supposed to be creative and you've been forced into an analytical career. So why do we allow other people to take our power away? And what can we do to take it back? Personally, I think it's beliefs. I think it comes from the tribe, the way that we've been brought up. We believe it's to keep us safe. Some of the questions that you can ask yourself are, how is this helping me? How do I feel about this? Are you holding yourself back? You can listen to the statements that are coming up, or it might be the voices that you heard. They might be flashbacks where you heard someone say something like you weren't good enough. Understand who it was and where this first came from, because that will help you understand how old this is. It will help you understand what age you started believing that you weren't worthy, or that you would hand over your power. The person that started saying it to you, they might have thought they were protecting you. So you can start looking at the statements that comes up, and then start questioning where you heard it and who told you. And that will take you back to the age you were where you took that statement on as true. Between the ages of birth and the ages of about 7 or 8 years old, we are sponges and we take on the beliefs of the people around us. So this is our tribe. They teach us, and we believe they're there to protect us. Some of this stuff has been passed through generations. This is how it runs through a family. Each generation passes down the bit of advice, or the fear, or the boundaries. So even if you go back 75 years ago, which is maybe 1 or 2 generations, things that happened to your parents or your grandparents or your great-grandparents, they've passed this fear on to a child. The child passes it on to their children. Part of understanding and breaking some of this is actually realizing where we are in the world and how it's moved on. So there's some really interesting questions. There's some work that you can do around wounding, family wounds, ancestral wounds that are passed, these statements that are passed through, and there are physical wounds that come through the ancestral line as well. So these are the ways that we can start looking at reclaiming our power and understanding how we give it away, because it might not be our belief, it's come from someone else and they've installed that like a little seed they've planted in your brain, that you're not good enough, or people like us don't do this. They might have fears about growing, they might have fears about stepping into a different type of life. Some family units produce doctors or priests or lawyers, accountants, bank managers. I've met so many people that have gone into various different careers. One was a doctor to please his mother. Others have went into the banking system because that was what was expected, and was so unhappy. So claiming back your power. So some of the things that we can do to reclaim our power. One is start listening to the voices and understanding where these limitations come from, because they are limitations. Stop blaming others. Start taking responsibility. When we live or step into our power, life works for us. When we start taking responsibility for everything that happens, we can change the energy around us. This is when I say stop blaming others, and when I say taking responsibility, I'm talking about taking the responsibility for moving forward, taking the responsibility for doing the healing, the inner work, for healing those wounds. Number 2 is to take care of yourself. Put yourself first. It's like this filling up. If you haven't got enough energy, you can't help others. So start taking back your power is taking care of yourself and putting yourself first. And that leads into number 3, which is say no to others. I know it's really difficult. You might think about the reaction, not wanting to hurt anybody. Actually, think back as a child when you said no. How were you treated? What was the reaction from your caregivers, the adults around you? If you've got children in your life at the moment and they say no, what's your reaction? Do you convince them to do something they don't want to do because it suits you? And I always remember when I was in a sales training course, being told that as a salesperson, it's really hard to ask for the order because we've been conditioned at a young age that it's rude to ask, and always stuck with me. It's rude to ask for something for yourself. So that might be one of the statements that you hear, and this might be one of the things as you're looking at, why is it that I can't claim back my power? Why is it that this happens to me? And it might be that you were told that it was rude to ask for something. I mean, this is definitely true for me. It might be true for you. Start talking in a positive way, creating goals, vision boards, asking or looking at what you want to experience and how you want to feel, particularly your energy, what you want and the great things that you want, and then own them. Number 5 is own them. Start stepping into them. Be the person. I'm not a great believer on fake it till you make it. If you don't believe from the inside that you're worthy, then I think you're always going to have that fear of being caught out, fear of being found out that you're a fake. Own your desires. What is it that you want? Do you want to travel more? Do you want your own business? Do you want a family? Do you want not to work? What is it? Own it. Do you want to be more creative? Look at how it makes you feel. Change your energy. Bring your energy up. Put your focus on what you want, not on what you don't want. Because when you're focusing on what you don't want, you're still thinking about it and you get more of that. Take responsibility for all of your thoughts. Number 6, trust yourself. Start small. Start trusting. You can do this by starting small, like little stepping stones. Trust yourself. Listen to your body. What is it saying it wants? Is it telling you need to go somewhere? Are you craving sitting on a beach? Are you thinking I really should be at a coffee shop? Start trusting those feelings and start investigating them. But you might make a decision and it might not work out in the way you thought it would. Don't write that off or berate yourself. Just stop and think, okay, this is where I'm at. This is where this has got me to, because you can't see the next steps. The point that you change and you can see a different direction or another route opens up for you. Where it doesn't work, when that low energy doesn't work, when you play that victim role and you don't look for the healing, particularly in emotionally abusive relationships, the healing those trauma bonds is crucial because they keep you trapped. They keep you, that's what they're designed to do. They were designed to keep you trapped. They're bonds. They bonded you to a person. And unless you start to break them, then you will always be trapped in that victim mode. You will always be trapped in that situation and you will always go back. You'll never be able to move on. That's why it's so crucial to do that. And number 7, speak your truth. Even if your voice isn't heard initially, speak out and speak up. Even if you feel like you're being strangled, speak your truth. What is true for you? Allow yourself to feel the different emotions. Don't let anyone tell you you're not allowed to feel that emotion. If somebody's tone or somebody's words hurt you, you have every right to say that hurt me and then change your energy. You have every right to say how you feel, but you need to look further than that. You need to ask a lot of questions as to why those words affected you. Why was that person projecting something onto you, or is this something else that's going on? And share with the world who you are. Show up. Understand what it is, what your role is. Somebody is waiting to hear what you've got to say. Somebody is sat there and they need to hear your story. Start showing up. Who are you? Who have you been hiding? How have you been hiding? Somebody's waiting to hear from you. Somebody is waiting for you to step forward. Our power is so important. We need to really start listening to our bodies, really start to pay attention. And it might be really hard to do this at first, and the trust bit can be really hard. It might bring up the shadow side, the bits we don't like about ourselves. I'll put a link to Debbie Ford's book, The Dark Side of the Light Chasers. In there she talks about the castle and the different rooms that we shut off and how we become so small. I think it's really relevant actually. I use it, I quote it in my book, The A to Z of Emotional Abuse. John Welwood's The Castle, and how we eventually wake up one day and we discover that we're a 2-bed semi and we've closed off all these rooms. But when we were born we were castles, and people told us they didn't like bits of us, or they told us that, oh, I wouldn't show that, and we close ourselves down. This is about self-love. This is about unconditional love. Loving yourself unconditionally. If you can't love yourself unconditionally, how can other people do it? Own all of you. Step into who you are, step into your power. And it might feel like you're under attack. Your senses, the 4 Fs, fight, flight, fawn, freeze, those survival instincts might kick in. This is unfamiliar to you. Your survival instincts might be, what are you trying to do to me? But it's about finding and sitting with these emotions and these feelings and asking them, where do they come from? And are they mine? Is this my fear? Or is this something that somebody gave me? We can go from chaos to creation. I said I was going to give you a word to book a soul plan reading and get 50% off. And I've just flicked through a book and the first word that comes up is masking. So I will put a link on my website so you can book that, and using masking you will be able to get a 50% discount on a soul plan reading if that's what you want to do. I'm not pressurizing you in any way. That is an offer. It just came up as I was talking. The discount code for it is masking. And if it isn't quite working, drop me an email and I'll sort it out. I hope you found this interesting. I hope you're able to step into your power. If you don't do all of them or any of them, is that you've made that decision, take responsibility for it. And that is stepping into your power. If you'd like to find out more about working with me, you can visit my website, reviveyoursoul.co.uk, or you can drop me an email, info@reviveyoursoul.co.uk. Please don't forget to like and share the videos, and if you can, subscribe to the channel. It really helps me get this message out about healing from trauma bonds and empowerment and stepping and creating a new life. Put some links in the description box below, including the links to my books, Finding Lily and The A to Z of Emotional Abuse, and I'm sending you loads and loads and loads of love.